Hello, sir, ma'am. Peace be upon you. How are you? Welcome. What's new? We are still in the hangover of spring, and hopefully your new year is still blessed. Well, until our film summary, we can say Happy New Year until June, because some say until April, but I say until June. After all, it's spring until June, so again, Happy New Year. It was mentioned to you that in this video, we will talk about Iran's extraordinary new missile city. Why extraordinary? From the images that have emerged from this new missile city, it seemed that in addition to using various missiles, we are also using various warheads. In other words, Iran's missiles no longer use just one type of warhead. Khaybar Shekan was mentioned. Ghadir 380. Sejil, I don't know. I mentioned to you that Cham, etc., use various warheads. The images that came out, well, what message does the unveiling of this missile city convey? Look, when Trump sends us a threatening letter, this missile city is unveiled immediately. What does that mean? And then, a few days before this event, America attacks Yemen, strikes Yemen, and in short, kills and martyrs many people and such things. But you see that the Yemenis attack and target the aircraft carrier, Truman, and in short, they attack it and damage it, and the images come out.
In the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful, he said, there is no aggression except against the oppressor.
This American enemy, burn this enemy with the presence of God and his power. We burned it. We burned it.
Lord, with you, our people.
Now, the kids, with what missile did they fire? With missiles whose warheads don't have the destructive power like our missiles. Well, even the Americans themselves are saying these are Iran's proxy forces. Of course, the commander of all Iranian armed forces, who is Mr. Khamenei, has said that no, these are not our proxy forces. It's not even about justifying it to them. I'm not even concerned with saying whether they are or aren't. We say, sir, not at all. Let's assume that they are. Well, if they are, then poor thing. You are simultaneously talking about threats, while at the same time receiving blows with the threat. Simultaneously with your threat, Yemen first launches a missile at Israel. Then you enter the scene to try to shift the field power balance towards yourself. You attack. Then they attack you back. Well, alongside this, you unveil a missile city. What does this mean? It means that if America wants to take military action against Iran, even in cooperation with Israel, Iran will respond with its defensive rings, which include armed Yemeni and Iraqi groups. And as I present to you, Lebanese and even within Palestine, along with its own weapons, you see, let's not forget that in recent times, the discussion about Iran's defensive capabilities is no longer about whether Iran has missiles or not. The conversation is about Iran managing and controlling the range of its missiles.
Progress should not be stopped. We should not be satisfied. Suppose one day, for example, regarding the accuracy of a missile, we set a certain standard for ourselves. Now we feel that this standard is not enough. It is not enough. We must move forward. We must move forward. This is the first point.
Good that firstly Haj Aga himself has seen a film and you saw that. Expressing it here is not very appropriate. I should speak because currently the information is highly classified for our country. This foundational work that Haj Ahmad himself did, and in the code name we used to start the operation and test this highly classified system. We announced that, and I mentioned this in the note I wrote to Aga, the expectation of the martyrs, especially martyr Ahmad Kazemi, who was the founder of this work, was fulfilled, and his wait came to an end. The Islamic Republic gained such power that all research centers and scenes that lead to a system or platform are almost negligible compared to this great work. Call in times of trouble. I can only tell you this sentence. There is no limit to the range, and the Americans understand that a threat to the Islamic Republic will be met with a reciprocal response.
Well, at the same time, you're saying that you're also making changes to the range of the missiles. While the US is simultaneously threatening, you're also unveiling a missile city. What message does it send? The message is that this. The missile city could probably be a city of missiles with the same names like Khaybar Shikan and others, but no longer with the previous range. Friends, a country that launches satellites capable of reaching up to a 500-degree orbit. Consider this. When it can launch a missile that reaches that high altitude, if the angle of that altitude changes, instead of going into the atmospheric orbit, you adjust it a bit so that instead of going this way, it goes that way. From this side, it can target several thousand kilometers away on the other side. Now, this explaining this topic has a detailed video that I will tell you about. About 10 years ago, when I was a defense reporter, when Iran unveiled the Simorgh satellite carrier, if I'm not mistaken. I was talking to one of the military officials. I was saying, well, why don't you? After all, why don't you emphasize the power of this satellite carrier that you launched? He said, look, if we talk too much about this satellite carrier, right now, a psychological atmosphere against us will be created. Do you know why I asked? Why? He told me this. He said, when you say this, missile can go up to such an altitude. Certainly when its angle is slightly lowered, or, as they say, becomes sharper instead of wider. The horizontal distance it covers becomes much greater. It means it can ascend to a much lower altitude, but travel a very long distance and return to Earth's atmosphere, the same technology that ballistic missiles have. Therefore, Iran has probably acquired weapons, meaning it has acquired missiles that, as they say, can be guided all the way to the US mainland. It has targeting capability. Interpret it as you wish, whether you want to criticize or praise But in my opinion, we are no longer limited to a range of 2,000 kilometers. That's my opinion. I'm not an official, but my analysis suggests this. And what's wrong with that? When they can come from the other side of the world and strike 13,000 kilometers away, we should also have the capability so that if they strike, we can strike back. Interpret it as you wish for now. Later, I will hopefully present you with a new video. Until the next video, goodbye for now.